Hello, friends. I'm your friendly guide, Mr. Smart. I welcome you to the first episode of the 7 Habits series. In this episode, Mr. Smart will introduce you to the life, philosophy, and achievements of Stephen Covey. Stephen Richards Covey was born on October 24, 1932 in Salt Lake City, Utah, where he was raised on an egg farm. He loved and excelled in athletics, but due to a deterioration of his thigh and hip bone during the growth process, his career in sports was cut short. He was forced to spend several of his teenage years on crutches, and he faced this challenge with the support of his parents and a growing love for academics. Mr. Smart is of the opinion that it was this time in his life that was simply the beginning of the making of a legend. Later, Covey entered into the University of Utah at 16 years old and received his bachelor's degree in business administration. Afterwards, he earned an MBA from Harvard University. He also received his doctorate in religious education at Brigham Young University, where he began teaching his self-help ideas and where he lectured to more than 1,000 students at a time. In 1983, he started the Covey Leadership Center as a training and consulting company in Provo, Utah. Mr. Smart wants to highlight that this was the biggest decision that would change the course of Stephen's life, as the center would become the nucleus from which Covey would launch everything else. In 1989, he gathered a global following in readership after he wrote the best-selling book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He himself was quite pleasantly surprised by this success because, as he understood it, he only wrote what he thought was quite instinctive and common sense. He later correctly summed up the book's success by simply saying, "What's common sense isn't common practice." Sometimes we all need an external stimulus to awaken positive instincts, and that's exactly why 25 million copies of this book were sold worldwide. Consequently, he's inspired generations around the entire world. But the principles he's described in his book are simple common sense. Let's go ahead and have a look at these 7 habits, shall we? Number 1, be proactive. Number 2, begin with the end in mind. Number 3, put first things first. Number 4, think win-win. Number 5, seek first to understand, then to be understood. Number 6, synergize. Number 7, sharpen the saw, undergo frequent self-renewal. Now, Mr. Smart admits that these habits are not rocket science, but he also thinks that true understanding, internalization, and practice of these principles is a big deal. My beautiful friends, this video is part of the 7 Habits series. Links to other videos of the 7 Habits series are given in the description below for your convenience. The 7 Habits series consists of animated videos which will elaborate and expound on the principles which Stephen Covey has advocated in his book. This book has empowered and inspired readers for over 25 years, and still it sits among the best sellers, with 25 million copies sold worldwide, simply because it enshrines principles which are not bound by time or geography. He managed to fuse the genre of self-help and business literature with this book. Your friendly guide, Mr. Smart, has created this series of animated videos to inspire you to lead a healthy and successful life based on the 7 habits presented in Stephen's book. We are all leading busy lives in which we don't find ample time to read and understand books that can bring about an enormous paradigm shift in our approach and attitude towards life. Consequently, there's a strong need to condense such inspiring books into entertaining and easy-to-understand video lessons. So Mr. Smart has adopted the creative animations as his means to teach or just inspire you to lead a better life physically, mentally, emotionally, and financially. This 7 Habits series is a part of Mr. Smart's endeavor to promote smart living. Dear viewers, subscribe and join Mr. Smart to learn to lead a smart life. Hit the bell button for notifications so that you don't miss any animated videos which will help you take that first step towards smart living. Now back to the topic at hand. In 1994, former President of the United States, Bill Clinton, said that American productivity would increase in huge amounts if Americans would just follow Covey's advices. It was due to the success and efficacy of his book that more than 2/3 of Fortune 500 companies decided to hire his training and consulting services. Stephen Covey once profoundly said, organizational behavior is individual behavior collectivized. His book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, targets the private and personal improvements before public victory. His ideas start with an individual and spread wisdom, light, and fragrance in the whole family, or organization, or even society. Stephen continued to write. In 1997, he wrote 7 Habits for Highly Effective Families, in which he teaches families to evolve their mission statements. In 2004, he extended the lesson in The 8th Habit, From Effectiveness to Greatness. In this book, he advises people to find their own distinctive voices and encourages others to find theirs. In 2008, he published The Leader in Me, in which he elaborated on his ideas about education reforms. In fact, he really wanted to change society for its betterment. Time magazine named Stephen Covey among the 25 most influential Americans in 1996. Forbes declared The 7 Habits to be of the top 10 business management books ever written. Sadly, Stephen Covey died at the age of 79 on July 16, 2012, due to a bicycle accident he suffered in Idaho Falls, Idaho. Beautiful friends and viewers, like this video if it's helped you in understanding the philosophy and life of Stephen Richards Covey. He made a great contribution in improving the lives of people, and Mr. Smart is extending this mission to convince, guide, and help people to live a smart life physically, emotionally, mentally, and financially. Subscribe to Mr. Smart, and yes, don't forget to hit the bell button for notifications so that you don't miss any episodes of the 7 Habits series. What are you waiting for? It's totally free.